How many women did you see in your last recording session?
Not as a secretary or a manager.
And not as a singer or someone's girlfriend, but as a recording engineer, an assistant engineer, as a producer, or a studio runner.
2, 1, none.
Our point is, there simply aren't enough women in the studios.
We are underrepresented, and our work is severely unrecognized.
In 2018, according to the USC Annenberg Inclusion Initiative, the ratio of male to female producers across 300 popular songs was 49-1.
And did you know no woman has ever won Producer of the Year at the Grammys?
You're joking, right?
It's time we start showcasing female producers and female engineers in the studio.
We can talk about game audio and VR.
I can show you which microphones to use in the studio and where to place them to get the sounds that you want.
It is time we feature women and their talents, and it's about time our achievements are celebrated.
And it's definitely time for me to have more role models to look up to.
Hi, my name is Jasmine, and I'm the founder of She Knows Tech.
I'm Megan Smith, and I'm the co-founder of She Knows Tech.
Hi, I'm Lisa Murray, and I'm the social media manager at She Knows Tech. Welcome to the first ever
The first ever She Knows Tech Summit! Woo!
We hope you're ready for an epic weekend full of our most iconic events.
Over the next few days, we will be hosting masterclasses,
Workshops,
Discussion panels.
networking events,
challenges, and performances.
There's no better way to celebrate International Women's Day than
Highlighting, celebrating,
and learning from the women that we respect most in this field.
the theme of this summit is It's Time.
Last year, we created our It's Time video, highlighting the lack of female representation in the music production and technology industry.
Now, we are continuing that narrative by bringing you this weekend of sessions presented by an all-female lineup of top-tier professionals.
Because
Because
it's time.
However, we didn't do this alone.
Without the support of She is the Music, Women in Music, Audio Engineering Society, Genelec,
Ableton, Spitfire Audio, and all of our generous sponsors, this summit would not have been possible. And now,
I would love for you to meet the rest of the team.
Hey, I'm Kiana from Los Angeles.
Hi, my name is Neve and I'm from Dublin.
Hi, I'm Lee. I'm from Malaysia.
Hi, my name is Chris and I am from San Jose, California.
Hi, I'm Erin from New York.
Over the last few months,
We've been working behind the scenes to help bring this summit to life.
I've been working as a part of the post-production team,
post-production team, creating all of the visual content that you'll be seeing throughout the summit.
Hi, I'm Adenor from the Netherlands.
Hi, my name is Krista Morale from Annapolis, Maryland.
Hi, my name is Lauren from Burleson, Texas.
I've been working as part of the communications team.
Part of the communications team to help spread the word about this iconic event.
Hi, I'm Lavender from Malaysia.
Hi, my name is Marcella from Canada.
Hi, my name is McKinley, based out of Valencia, Spain.
And I will be working as part of the Live Tech team.
Tech team to ensure that everything looks and sounds amazing during the summit.
You'll see us in the chat rooms of each session.
And don't be afraid to reach out and say hi.
Here are a few things
that you'll need to know for the summit.
This entire summit is happening over Zoom. You can find the links to the sessions in two places, by hitting the Watch Now link on the DICE app or website. We will also be sending out the links to the session to you via email 15 minutes before the beginning of each session. So keep an eye on your inbox.
If you are a spicy or hot ticket holder, the links to your workshops and networking events will be emailed directly to you in advance of the sessions.
Our summit will be ending on March 8th with the Electronica concert. This will take place on the Spitfire Audio's YouTube channel, and we encourage you to check out the video premieres and show some love to our performers. We will also be emailing this link to all summit ticket holders on the day.
We will also be using the time before each session to chat and connect with each other and show you exclusive She Knows Tech content curated for this summit.
We want all of you to make the most of this opportunity to learn and to explore both new and familiar areas of music creation. There are no stupid questions, so please don't be too shy to speak up.
We aim to maintain a safe and inspiring space for all participants to learn and recharge during the summit. So please use respectful language when interacting with other participants and keep an open mind so everyone can leave the summit with a positive experience.
That's all from us.
And like we said, we'll be in the Zoom rooms and chat boxes if you have any questions throughout the weekend.
Hello, everybody! Welcome to the first ever She Knows Tech Summit welcoming stream. Make some noise. I heard the chat is lit right now. Please keep showing us your love. So, I hope you're all hyped up for the summit this weekend because it is going to be iconic. My name is Jasmine, and I'm the founder of She Knows Tech. I am a songwriter, producer, artist, and educator. And for today, I'll be the moderator of this chat, connecting from Spain. I am so excited for this. Thank you all for joining us today. So up next, I'm super excited to introduce Lisa Murray, our social media manager from She Knows Tech.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Murray and I am a music producer, artist, audio engineer and multifaceted creator based in Ireland. And I'm so happy to be with you here, Jasmine, today to kickstart our first ever She Knows Tech Summit.
Woo! Oh my God, this is unreal. So I'm super excited. My hands are really cold right now. But right now, I'm really honored to introduce our keynote guest for this session, Emily Lazar. So Emily made Grammy history this year by becoming the first mastering engineer to land not one, not two, but 3 Album of the Year nominations in the same year. Emily was the mastering engineer on Coldplay's Everyday Life, Haim's Women in Music Part 3, and Jacob Collier's Jessie Volume 3.
Not to mention that she's also mastered nearly 4,000 albums and is the founder, president, and chief engineer of her own mastering facility, The Lodge, based in New York. And in 2019, she made history as the first woman to ever win a Grammy for album engineering in the non-classical category for Beck's Colors.
And we're not quite done yet. Emily is one of the most in-demand mastering engineers in the industry, having worked on iconic albums like David Bowie's Heathen, Maggie Rogers' Heard It in the Past Life, Vampire Weekend's Father of a Bride, and Sia's 1000 Forms of Fear.
And our favorite thing about Emily is that even though she's one of the busiest engineers in the business, she's always making time to support female empowerment initiatives like She Knows Tech.
Emily, thanks for joining us today.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm like, you guys are amazing, first of all. I love what you're doing, and I am thrilled. I'm just thrilled to support this summit. I wish that this was around when I was coming up, and so happy to be able to be here for this. It's just wonderful.
No, it's okay. I feel like it's not too late yet, and again, you know, I think the chat right now is off the hook. Everyone is super excited that, you know, we're doing this. So after listing like everything that you do, we imagine that you're a super busy person, right? So what does your day-to-day look like?
I think that's actually a very interesting question because my day-to-day, even if it's the same idea of mastering a new album for a new artist, is completely different. And that's actually what I really love about my job. I feel like every new song is a new puzzle and a new challenge, and every day is actually different. It has different needs, different people, a whole different spin, and that's kind of awesome. But my day-to-day regular like life is a lot of work, a lot of trying to move the needle forward with women in music and in tech, and a lot of raising my son because I have a child. And that's part of being a woman in music and in tech, when there's a lot going on anyway. But so my everyday is also filled with an amazing team of people that help me. I work really closely every day with Chris Allgood, who's an amazing engineer who's on my team with me, and all the other amazing people who, now I'm not going to list them all, but we're all kind of chugging all the time to try to push for our artists and for the cause in general. So,
That's amazing. Yeah, I can imagine it's non-stop for you. That's amazing. So why don't you take us through from the very beginning, and we want to ask you what inspired you to work in the music industry in the first place?
Yeah, and also, did you always know that you were gonna be like a Grammy-winning engineer? Like, I'm just gonna do it. Like,
no, I don't think anybody ever knows that, and I will be 100% on the level with the fact that that's simply not why I do this. And anybody who's kind of getting into anything, for that matter, if you're going for the accolades or for the, the thing that you think is the reward, that's usually not the right angle to take. In order to really love what you do and do what you love, you need to love what you do. At the end of the day, you have to really actually be engaged and love what you're trying to accomplish. So I'll jump into how I got here. And I started as an artist. And I think a lot of women in tech actually start as artists and are frustrated and are in the studio and feel that perhaps they're not being heard, or they're just frustrated that they don't have control over the sounds that they're making. And for me, that was a big part of it. I was hearing sounds and colors in my head, and they weren't coming through the final versions. And so being able to have more control over the process allowed me more control over the end result. And that was kind of how I ended up at this point. And it's interesting because mastering is kind of like the ultimate of having this fine tuning and control. So I also mix and I've done kind of everything along the way. So I have a really interesting perspective, I think, as a mastering engineer, because I can relate to artists. I can relate to indie artists. I can relate to big artists. I can relate to feeling frustrated. I can relate to feeling that you've written this song and it's like your baby, and you want to bring it to the world, and you have nervous energy about, will people like my baby? Will people think my baby's ugly? How will other people talk about my baby? Do I care what anybody thinks of my baby? Because I love my baby. But am I actually putting my baby in the right clothes or the right light or the right frame? So it's all those kinds of things that, it's silly, but it's real. And it feels, I think for musicians and artists, they really feel that way. Really do. It's not a joke. Like, this is their baby, and it's for real, and it's forever. Once it's out, it lives forever. And so I feel like that's an important part of my job, and it's definitely part of the impetus for why I'm in it and how I got to this point, because I had the same feelings and the same frustrations.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally relate to that, wanting to have this sort of overall say in the colors and blending everything in and making it sound the way you hear it and in your head. And that's what's so empowering about, making your own music and working on your own music as well. And then you spoke about mastering being sort of the end result and like where this all really comes through. So we know that the Grammys only added mastering engineers as nominees in that category in 2002, 4 years after they added engineers and mixers. What do you think the importance of having major institutions like the Recording Academy acknowledge these technical roles, because they have such an impact on how successful music can become?
I mean, I think there's still a long way to go, actually. I think that the unsung heroes of pretty much every single thing you hear are not are unsung heroes. I think that there's a lot of highlighting of the tech behind the product that we are kind of not spotlighting in the way that we should. I'm really glad the Recording Academy has made great strides, as you know, and I think the world is starting. We're getting there, little by little, and I I think it's very important. Actually, I think it's important both because those jobs are essential to creating something wonderful, but it also elevates the conversation to young kids who are learning about careers. And like I always say, if you can see it, you can be it. And if you don't know that career exists, it's pretty hard to say, I think I want to do that. Right. So being able to put it in context for people so that they can kind of grab onto it and go, oh, what is that? You know, it's important. Did I lose you guys?
No, I'm here. I have this habit of talking while my Zoom is on mute. So Lisa's probably really used to it by now. But no, but I was just saying, we absolutely agree with you. And I think as you know, because both Lisa and I are, the master students, of music technology production, and having a female role model that we can relate to, that we, it plays such an important role, not just in terms of like relatability, but also like in terms of like learning the level of confidence, to mirror that confidence. And I absolutely agree with what you said. But, just from within your career so far, right? Mm-hmm. So it's safe to say that you're living the dreams of so many people, especially with the level of success that you've achieved, and you're such an inspiration to so many people. And you've worked with so many high-profile artists such as Sia, Haim, Coldplay, Maggie Rogers, Jacob Collier. I'm sure everyone is very, very curious to want to ask you, what is your favorite project that you've worked on?
Okay, so as much as I want to answer all of your questions and give everybody those answers, like I said, these are like babies. They're like children. I can't pick a favorite child. I would be a terrible parent if I did that, right? So you can't favorite your children. And the truth is, all of these different projects are very close to my heart, and they all have had different effects on me as a person and as an engineer. And I learn something every single day, whether it's, an artist like Beck or Foo Fighters or Haim or Coldplay or Jacob, or they're all so different. None of these artists kind of like fit into the same box, thank God. And I also learned from every indie artist that comes to me. We try to, because I was an indie artist, we at the Lodge are very, very sure that we want to also promote the independent artist and help them create the best product that they can make. And so, and I learned a ton from all of those albums and interactions too, because it's different, and so as much as I'd love to pick one, I actually couldn't. I couldn't.
Yeah, I know what you mean with these projects. Like, I feel like when you go through such a technical role on a project, you feel so connected to it in different ways. And I think each project can be so interesting, and it could be either, something that has a bunch of funding with a major label, or it could be something that somebody's really poured so much passion into as an indie artist, and they're all, I think, so rewarding at the end.
Yeah, even just, look, it's the music, right? That's why we're all doing this. It's the thing that gives you that visceral response. It makes the hair on your arm stand up, and it makes the back of your neck feel cold when you hear that vocal and you go, oh my God, it's what moves us. It's like a universal, really important thing. So I think that always remaining connected to that as a person working in any part of this industry is the most important thing, right? Not turning it into a day where you're time to make the donuts, and you're just like, just dialing it in. That's not really probably why you started. And quite frankly, I don't think it I don't think it creates the best results.
Absolutely. And speaking of kind of getting started into the music industry, we all know that getting your footing in the music industry is a huge challenge for anybody, and it's absolutely no mean feat, regardless of where you're coming from or what gender you are. What kind of challenges did you experience personally in your pursuit of your career, and how did you overcome some of those challenges?
Also, a super interesting question with horrible answers, with horrible things that happened all along the way, and difficulty and stress and strife and tears and pain. And, the only thing I can say about it is I refuse to enumerate all of the terrible things that happened for one reason. It makes those things bigger than the good stuff. And I don't care to think about all of that. I care to think about where I'm going, what I want to do. I keep my head focused on that, and all that other noise I try to tune out. And to me, I think that's that's one of the best lessons I can give everyone who's just starting out is to, first of all, here's the best one: don't quit. Don't quit. You could talk yourself out of quitting again and again, and I can too. And quitting on yourself or quitting on things, pretty much guarantees that you'll fail, right? So if you really want to make it, or you really want to get there, don't quit. So that's number one. And number two, you got to focus on the positive and focus on the things that you're actually trying to do. If I spent all my energy focusing on who didn't want me to succeed, or why it was hard, or who in the room was trying to, keep me down, I'd never get anywhere. It's just that's not my focus. So at this point in my career, it's less bothersome to me. I don't pay attention to it at all. I don't even hear it anymore. But when I was younger and I was starting, it absolutely bothered me. It kind of fueled my fire, if you want to know the truth. So I think you can use these things for the impetus to kind of like rev your engine and go, improve yourself, or you can give in to them. And I say never give in, never give up, never give in. So did I answer the question?
Yes, that was
totally. We knew we were gonna be surprised by your answer, but that was absolutely empowering. I think by urging us to focus on the good and also the reason why we do this, not the response from around us, because we can't control those. Yeah, you can't control any of that. And I will say, I'm gonna just throw this out there. It's a little hint of mint on I can't actually tell you what it is, but on Monday there's going to be some great news. And it's going to be great news that's going to affect your programming and be helpful. I've tried to start something that's going to be really wonderful to address a lot of this for us, for this community, for producers and engineers and tech people in audio and in the recording industry specifically, not all lumped together with, publishing and, songwriting and all those things. Really just like, what's it like to be in the studio? What's that landscape like for a young or any woman entering the field, and woman being inclusive of all types of women. So I'm really excited about it, and I think it will be. I'm sorry that the summits for me, the keynote wasn't on Monday, so I could kind of like blah. But it's just, you guys have to just kind of follow me online at Emily Lazar Lodge and at Lodge Mastering, and you'll see the links to the great and awesome announcements coming out. And I urge all of you to participate as much as you can with it, and hopefully it will give back to all of you in a great way. So absolutely. Wow. I knew this was going to be like a quick, like a really short weekend because of the excitement, but now I really can't wait for Monday to come. But with that, I think it kind of transitions. Well, I want to plug one other thing while we're plugging, and then we'll stop with the plugging. The Recording Academy is also doing a very, very cool event called Women in the Mix.
and it will be public for everybody to see. And I'm going to be in that too, and it's going to be really a cool event. So I think you guys should all, everyone who's listening here, should probably tune in there too. But International Women's Day is must be celebrated.
Yes. With pride, unapologetically,
Correct.
Yes, I think that is.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you on your next question.
No. That was great. I think we want this, conversation to be like flowy. So, but that was such a natural transition actually to the next part of this stream, because the title of this session is Breaking the Glass Ceiling. And before we move forward with that, I just want to quickly, explain the definition, of glass ceiling according to Oxford Dictionary. So according to Oxford Dictionary, the definition of glass ceiling is that it's an unacknowledged barrier to advancement in a profession, especially affecting women and members of minorities. Like Lisa mentioned earlier, right? Breaking into the industry is a huge struggle for everyone, regardless of who you are. But being a woman in such a male-dominated industry presents a whole different set of challenges. So I understand that you were saying that, really focus on a challenge, but
I lost her.
I
lost you, Jasmine. Repeat that. I did. You cut out for a sec.
Okay, no worries. So yeah, like Lisa mentioned earlier, right, breaking into the industry, is a huge struggle for everyone, no matter who you are. But being a woman in such a male-dominated industry presents a whole other set of challenges on top of that. So we just kind of want to have you chat a little bit about, have you ever faced any challenges that's unique, unique challenges because you are a woman?
So a couple of things on this topic. I've broken a bunch of glass ceilings, like over and over again. And every time it happens, I'm always like very shocked that that's happened. I'm very disturbed and dismayed that it hasn't happened already. I never used to take count of glass ceilings. I never really thought about it. I didn't really think about them as being there. For example, like I didn't realize that I was going to be the first woman or female, or however the right way to say it is at this point in time, mastering engineer on a Foo Fighters album, Wasting Light, back in, I think it was 2012. And when I found that out, it was boggling to me. I was really, part of me was very unhappy to know that it was 2012 and now it's 2021 and we're still having ceiling breaking moments. And while on the one hand it's fabulous, on the other hand, I wish we weren't having them, and we were already done with this idea. So there's that. And then there's this other idea of the point where I was at, where I didn't approach the world thinking that there were glass ceilings. So everything I'm doing that has nothing to do with trying to break through a glass ceiling. And I don't even think about it. And it happens, and usually someone else is alerting me to the fact that it's happened. Someone else who's keeping track of these kinds of statistics and stuff. And so there's that element, personally, when I think about this stuff. And I think, hopefully we're going to get to this point where that's not the conversation, because while it's so super important and amazing for me to get to say, hey, I'm the first woman, somehow or another, saying that feels like not as big an accomplishment, right? So when you say, hey, you were nominated for whatever, and that you want to feel that accomplishment. And then you're like, hey, you're the first woman to be nominated. So now all of a sudden there's like another flavor on that idea, which is positive, that you're carrying this thing forward. But then there's this thing like, oh, what, a lot of men did it before you, so it's really not that big a deal. And so there's a lot of interesting context, I think, to think about when you're the person who's in that position. Now, that's honestly like one of the greatest problems to have. I will take that problem every day of my life, that it, you know, because how wonderful, like, you know, you're the first to do something. It's great. But I do see the other side of that, where it kind of is, you know, maybe just recognizing people for their work is really a great way to go about all of this. And that, you know, elevating the conversation and the noise around getting women involved and showing them being it, so people can see it and then therefore be it themselves. All of this being really, really important. And hopefully the focus is going to start to switch a little bit, just like onto spotlighting these amazing women that I've worked with, that are producers and engineers and mixers and artists, for what they really do, and not so much that they're a female or a woman. That part of it is a little bit sometimes, you know, it doesn't always feel as good as I feel like it should. Because, you know, we're talking about being a woman right now. We're not talking about the work. We're not talking about the artistry. We're not talking about the decisions we're making in the studio or when writing songs or doing things. We're talking about, you know, the fact that we were born female. And, you know, I wonder sometimes, like, if that's really gonna, you know, I want people to feel empowered, and I want people to do their thing and not feel like there's a fence around them, you know, and a boundary. So breaking down boundaries, breaking through glass ceilings, hugely important, super exciting on the one level, but also let's just get rid of them. Let's kids go. Let's go, ladies. Let's do it. And so that we don't have to have this conversation anymore. And we can start talking about the real stuff that actually made us get through the ceiling, right? That crash, that glass should be everywhere. Gina Johnson just got nominated for Best Engineer for the ACM Awards. Huge, amazing. Love her, so great. How is that the first time that this has happened this year, 2021?
I know.
We got to do better. We got to do better collectively, and we have to keep the pressure on. We have, you know, that's what's going to change this. That's what's going to keep moving that needle, and that's what we want. We want to move the needle.
Absolutely. I totally agree with what you're saying, and that's why we do what we do, and because we want to highlight these amazing professionals for what they do, which is why we've got so many different masterclasses and workshops over this weekend of people just showing technically what they do, you know.
Fantastic.
And someone's open to everybody.
Fantastic.
It's not by for women. It's just women teaching everybody what they do and their technical abilities. But that being said, as we know, the statistics of female representation in the music tech industry are still very disheartening.
Very disheartening. 2.6%.
Yes.
For anybody who's...
Let's say it again. 2.6%.
And for anybody...
Pathetic.
Anybody watching the stream who isn't aware of these statistics what we're referencing, last year's USC Annenberg Inclusion Initiative, which was released in January 2020, looks at 800 popular songs from 2012 to 2019, and the results are as follows. For every female artist, there are 3.6 male artists. And then when we look at the more technical aspects of songwriting, producing, engineering, the ratio drops even further. So for every female producer, there are 37 male producers. Like what Emily was saying, 2.6% of producers are women. And while 56% of 800 popular songs had an all-male songwriting team, less than 1% had an all-female songwriting team. Crazy. But that being said, there's actually no doubt that there has been significant progress in recent years. And Emily, we were just wondering, you've been doing amazing things in this industry for quite a while. And how have you seen the landscape change during your career? I know we've got a long way to go.
We've got a long way to go, but I'm really excited about it. And I have seen it change. And there have been, you know, there are a lot more women that I see and that I've come into contact with through the years. When I started, there were a few before me. I mean, there were a little bit more than a few, but you know, a very small number of women who are amazing, like Leslie Ann Jones and Sylvia Massey was a little right before me, and Trina Schumacher and I came up at the same time. Like there were just not a lot of people. And so I'm standing on their shoulders, and I'm hoping that all of you guys are going to stand on mine, jump on mine, please. Keep
Yes.
it moving. So I want, I want to see that change happen faster. I have to say, I was a little disheartened to find out that maybe there weren't enough young women entering programs and getting their education. I am a big fan of getting educated in this world and in the tech world. I have a master's degree in music technology from New York University. I think it's fine. There's lots of places to go. There's lots of education online you can do. And I'm a big proponent of really educating the next generation so that they are really equipped to make quality, amazing music and recordings, and understand the artistry of what this is and what's capable. And that's a big part of it. Getting from your bedroom and bridging out to the rest of the world, right?
No, Emily, I think it's so interesting that you mentioned that, because one of the most frequent conversation that we would receive, from She Knows Tech is that a lot of people would genuinely, sincerely just assume that because there's a lack of, the lack of female students, in these very technical programs shows the lack of interest, but that is actually quite the opposite. I think when we first started out as a campus collective at Berkeley, we did the first tech training program, and we recruited 20 mentees, and then they each had a female mentor who were graduate students in the same campus, and just train them in different parts of tech for like a whole semester, and the results were insane. Like half of them went into like music production and engineering majors back in Boston, and then the other half either minor in tech or they got into sound design. And so I think what you mentioned truly echo that the fact that it's not that we're not interested, but this shows that the importance of highlighting even more women in this industry, and to normalize that.
Well, my hope is that there are dedicated seats for women in every audio program around the globe. And that's something I'm working toward. So
yes,
I know that you guys will be a big, great part of that, because it aligns perfectly with your agenda and mission, and it's so close to my heart and yours, obviously. And it's really it's part of this. If you can see it, you can be it, light bulb thing. And
100%.
And also giving people the confidence, as you said earlier. There's a little bit of a leap, and I think that's where mentorship comes in, and making sure that young women have the right access to equipment and have the right access to mentors that can actually help them get to the next level, actually. Because there's a big difference between doing your best on your own and then being able to look to a mentor to help get you a recommendation somewhere, or for a job, or even just to a client, like, hey, I worked with her, she's amazing, you'll love her. That really can change the trajectory of someone's life. And I've seen it happen many times. So those are all the kinds of things, as people who are in the field, that we can kind of help promote as new generations come through. And I think it's really important.
So just based on what you shared, one very spontaneous question, came pop out. And I was just wondering, I'm sure like throughout your career, you find yourself, sort of like one of the very few, if not the only woman in the room. And did you often find yourself, having to work harder or like push yourself further, just so that you'll be recognized for what you do and not because you're the only woman in the room, if that question makes sense?
Yeah, well, in the beginning for me, it was first of all really hard to get into the room. Like it was impossible. And so I did not grow up taking the toaster apart or in a home with people who were really focusing on the engineering of certain things. I was always fascinated by those kinds of things. Like um my mother was a guitar teacher, and my father was a business guy, but he really loved playing with his stereo, and he was very audiophile about that. And so he would be the one to like run over and throw headphones on me and be like, Emily, listen to the bass in this song or whatever. And most people don't do that. Most people don't, unless you're one of us, you're not listening to the bass in the song. You're just listening to the song, right? It's a totally different way of listening. And so I started with that really at a young age. And then my mother, who was a huge inspiration to me across the board, was teaching guitar out of our house. So I was in every lesson that she gave, literally. And so there was music around all the time. I thought this was normal. I thought that everybody grew up with like, music happening 24/7. And so for me, it was like a normal. And I think that kind of, so I was a very creative person. I was not, I wasn't, anti-science and math, but it wasn't my leaning. And so as I started down that kind of like artist path, and then I realized, hey, I gotta like, I was an English creative writing major in college and music double. So like I wasn't plugging things in. And as a matter of fact, when I first started playing electric guitar, this is good, I was like almost afraid to plug in my amp. I thought it was going to blow up. It was going to make too much noise, feedback. Like I didn't know, right? This is a long time ago already, but clearly. So coming from that perspective, I felt like I needed to get a crazy, crazy education, but fast. And it started for me in college, and I started in the studio in college, and I went nuts. It was like, there's the brass ring with the education of everything you need to know, so that when you walk into a studio to be an assistant, no one can knock you off your block. As a matter of fact, you're going to know more than all the men in the room. You're going to be more ready. And so that kind of, that was the impetus for me, was so that I would be able to walk in and be totally comfortable, so that somebody wouldn't. At the time, I remember going into studios before, and someone saying, "Oh, throw 1176 on that," and I would be like, "Oh my God, they're like speaking another language," and I didn't know, right? And then so that part of it was also. You also have to remember, guys, that we didn't all have laptops filled with the ability to make an album in our homes. This is in real studios with lots of real people around, and not just you in your room, like dialing up, Pensado's show and figuring out how to use something or whatever. There was no Google it and figure it out. It was, you needed to be around a mentor, around apprentice, learn, have physical equipment in front of you. And so it was super terrifying in a lot of ways, coming from where I came from. So my education was like on, double speed to try to catch up. But the coolest thing about it was that it was so fascinating to me. And I couldn't get enough. I really couldn't get enough. And I had amazing people in my life who helped inspire me and teach me and help me all through that time. And then I went and showed up at studios and working, and people were like, wow, she knows what she's talking about. Or like, oh, she knows how to get this sound. Or, oh, she understands signal flow. Or she's never been in this room before, and she's seen a patch bay before, and she knows how to use it. Wow, this is amazing. And people were very shocked by that. But then I think it was kind of like the respect was there because I did the work. If you do the work, it's very hard for people to disrespect you. If you have the knowledge and you have the tools and you've done the work, it's hard for them to knock you off your block. And that was really, for me, the thing. Like, I didn't want to walk in there and have somebody speaking gear talk and not understand. I wanted to understand, know, and have a creative idea, have listened and said, like, actually, I like the vocal going through this, and I like the, I like that delay better than that delay, instead of just saying, can you put a little delay on that? Just doing it myself. So that there was a big jump right there. And that was an awesome feeling to be able to kind of control my own universe in that way. So that's another thing. I think if you really want something, you know, nothing can kind of stand in your way. If you actually want it, don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't even have to say don't let anything stand in your way, because you won't. Because if you really want it, you're on the path, right? You're going. It's just that deciding thing, like you know, being in that place where you're, you know. And I don't really run my life in this hazy deciding thing. I'm either doing it and I'm doing it full on, or I'm not. And I've made that very clear for myself. So maybe that's a helpful tip. I don't know.
That's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. I totally know what you mean when you hear that gear talk. And I think it puts a lot of people off in the beginning. It's like, well, I'm never going to understand all these code words and these code languages. And Jasmine and I are both also master's degree graduates from Berklee College of Music in Valencia, their music production technology and innovation program. And just after doing that program, I had that exact same thing. It's like, well, I can just go in here and I know what all the buttons do, so there's nothing that can stop me, you know. And that's it's a great feeling. And then when you can take things into your own hands in that way, highly encourage anybody to do it. It's phenomenal.
100%. Yeah.
So we just have one more question before we move on to our Q&A. And so it's kind of a more abstract one. So everyone usually has a moment in their career where they kind of look around and go, whoa, I did it. Like, I did the thing. I'm here. And we're just wondering, like, like, obviously you've done so many amazing things, but what was like the standout moment for you where you were like, wow, I'm really making this, it's all happening, you know, I'm doing the thing.
So I think that's kind of over time. It's, you know, like there's probably a moment like that every single year that then gets eclipsed by the next one, right? And because you think, oh my God, wow, you know, so-and-so, David Bowie called, or so-and-so wants to work with me, or I just did this, you know, whatever. And then I think that this past year has been really unique because I had the opportunity to work with like the canon of rock and roll, working on the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. And that was just mind-blowing for me on every level. And then this year, like, to kind of come right after that with 3 Album of the Year Grammy nominations was completely surreal. And then I got told that I was like actually not the first woman, but the first person.
Yes.
The first person to actually achieve that as a mastering engineer, and that the company that I was in with the other people that had done that in other you know, for Album of the Year, like for production or whatever, were Rick Rubin and Pharrell. And I was like, okay, I don't have to feel bad that I'm the first woman. I just did something cool. And that felt really gratifying on that level. It's kind of, it's still super surreal. And it's kind of, interestingly enough, I don't think about things in this way. And so when people bring it up to me and then I go, is that true? Are you sure? Is that right? Did you research that before you're telling me this? You know, I'm always very shocked and very surprised. So while it felt like amazing for the instant when the person told me, now it's like not, I can't even like kind of relate to it. And I don't even, you know, whatever.
Wow, yes, no, but I just want you to know that everyone here like absolutely celebrates that, because I think for a lot of us, that's like a breaking the glass ceiling moment for us. Like, you know, like, wow, Emily just got recognized by this, and that means I can do something like that. I can be recognized at that level too. So yeah.
You guys can all of you can do it. You just have to want it, and you just have to work hard, and, you know, keep your priority, your focus right in front of you. It's not all this other noise that's going on. Like I told you, just drown that out and, you know, do your thing. And you all have amazing gifts to give and incredible ways to, you know, I'm so excited to see always why my job is so exciting is because I get to get these new amazing compositions and recordings, and that's like a whole new way of looking at the world. And it's, you know, the new generation bringing the next thing on, and even, you know, older generations rejiggering the situation, the wheel or whatever. And I mean, I think it's so exciting, actually, that kind of forward movement is very exciting to me. So all of you can do this. You can just believe in yourself. And
yes, thank you.
Yeah, and go for it. Just go for it. Because you know what? The other thing I want to tell you guys, when I started my company, I was 25 years old. And I was actually in a conversation with my mom, and I was all nervous. I was really nervous. And I was in that vague kind of deciding place, like, oh, what if this, what if that? And she said, to quote Field of Dreams, which is super corny, which probably half of you haven't even seen, build it and they will come. And I said, yeah, but what if they don't? And she said, then you can do something else. And I went, oh my God, freedom. Like, I can mess up and I can do something else. This cannot work out, or that cannot work out, or trying something on a compressor could be a complete and utter wrong move and a disaster. And I can wipe it clean and start again. Like, none of these things are, like, I'm not curing cancer. I know that I'm not curing cancer, but I'm making people happy with some musical ideas or moves on a console. Great. Like, taking this the importance and the seriousness and the stress of the whole thing off your shoulders and just being in the moment, being present with what you're doing, being focused, being aware and doing your thing, allowing yourself the freedom to do it and not talk yourself out of it for all the reasons that one could talk themselves out of it. That's the key, I think. Envisioning it and doing it and not letting anything else get in the way. So
just being super laser focused. Thank you so much for that. I think I benefit so much by being the moderator because it really inspired me on a personal level.
Oh, that's so good.
But yeah, so that's sort of like all the questions that we prepared for you. And we initially, have prepared like a 10-minute for Q&A, but we probably don't have time for that. We actually sent out an email to all the participants of the summit. It's like, do you have a question for Emily? Let us know. Our inbox was filled with questions. So I think we can only pick, if we're lucky, we can do 2, but we can probably fit 1 question in by Becky. What would you recommend a beginner in the industry to do to get hired and start making money with mixing and mastering?
Okay. So a beginner, meaning they've already gone through their education and they've done some stuff and getting hired by a mastering facility, clients, a mixing facility. They're all different ways to kind of channel yourself and figure out what you want to do. Do you want to work for another company? Do you want to work for yourself? Do you want to, if you want to work for yourself, you got to have a lot of hustle. And guess what? When you want to work for a company, you got to have a lot of hustle. So no matter what choice, you got to really, no one's, going to be ringing your doorbell and calling you on the phone without hanging your shingle out there. You have to put yourself out there. You have to make an effort. You have to, I always tell people, if you hear a record that you love and you think it sounds a specific way, that really speaks to you. And I'm not just talking about music, the content of the music. I'm talking about the sound of the thing. Find the credits, find out who did it, find those people. Everyone's online. Everyone needs an assistant. Everyone needs help. It's a way to get a great mentor. It's a way to get, it's also a great way to start cultivating your own art, because you're filtering out like, oh, I really like how this sounds. I really like how this sounds. And you kind of put it together and you make your own sound. So, as far as trying to get paid work, of course, there's 2 ways to do this: hustle on your own, or hustle with a company behind you. They're both great approaches. I endorse them both. I did them both. I was both people. So I hire both. So I think it's about approaching those people with confidence, whether it be a client or a label or a business owner, a studio owner, and saying, I can do this, and proving that you can. And one of the things that I always give to my interns is I give them homework, like edit this thing together. and show me how quickly you can do it and how good it is going to be. Or master this and try and beat mine. Here's the one that I did, and it's out on, in the world, and here's the source file. Show me that you can do it. And there's so much stuff online where you can get stems like from amazing things. You can work on, incredibly released music and show what you can do, show your stuff.
Wow, thank you. That is such a great advice. And I absolutely agree with you. I think just unapologetically just put yourself out there and just own what you want. And yeah, so with that being said, unfortunately, we won't be able to fit in any other questions in. This has been an amazing conversation. I just want to briefly let you know that while we're having this conversation in the same Zoom room that we're connected right now, we have 2 rooms of female identifying and non-binary producers and creatives in the same Zoom room right now, completing a Flash Beats Lab challenge. And then we're about to spotlight them right now. So which is why, we have to be super on time. But I would love to spend all night chatting with you because I feel like I'm super recharged on a spiritual level.
Anytime, Jasmine. And I would love to answer those questions. So if we can figure out a way to do that, I'd love to be able to give absolutely the answers. So
yes,
figure out a way.
We'll figure a way out. Yes, I'm going to make it happen. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Can I thank you, wonderful, amazing people, for having me and for doing this and having a tech summit for women in recording. My God, I'm honored to be here, and I'm blown away by how much you guys have accomplished. Keep it up, please. And let's work together on pushing us forward and moving the needle.
Yes. Perfect. Yes. Thank you so much. Wow. We're definitely not gonna stop. We're gonna definitely continue be in contact with you. So
of course,
you definitely hear a lot from me and Lisa from now on. But with that being said, we're gonna have to move on to the next section of the stream. So we'll have to leave you here. But thank you so much again for this very impactful conversation. And best of luck at the Grammys. That's happening soon.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We'll see you in we'll see you soon.
Yes, soon, very soon.
All right. So if you're tuning in to this stream right now, don't walk away because we are about to start the final 30 minutes of the stream. So now we're going to start inviting a few different producers who are completing their challenge to share their screen and their computer sound so that you can get a sneak preview into what they're working on right now. So stay tuned because it's super, super exciting. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to play a short clip right now. And as soon as that clip's end, we're going to with producer spotlight. Play the video. Flash Beats Lab.
Our welcoming stream, which is the Flash Beats Lab Producer Spotlight.
Right now, as you're watching this video, we have a Zoom room full of female identifying and non-binary producers competing in the Flash Beats Lab Speed Production Challenge.
The stakes are very high, as we are giving out insane prizes to our top 3 entrants.
We're giving away bundles and studio equipment from Ableton,
Spitfire Audio,
Isotope,
Kiloheart,
XLN Audio,
MXL,
Clevegram,
Sonarworks,
Baby Audio,
Olo, and Leapwing. The first prize bundle alone is worth more than $5,000.
So how do our lucky participants get their hands on these amazing prizes?
It's up to you and the judges.
Over the course of the summit, we highly encourage you to listen through all of these tracks that were produced during the challenge and cast a vote for your favorite. You can do this at summit.sheknows.tech/FBL.
And now, we're going to give you a sneak preview into Flash Beats Lab
and spotlight some of the producers who will be showing us the current progress on the track that they are working on right now.
Working on a kalimba pluck using one of my favorite synths called Dex. And I'm just trying to make it sound sharper. It's like a bass sound that I made. And took this More Giraffes Dolphin block sound. Which I think it's this. And then I adjusted the pitch in the pitch envelope to give it that sound. So let's see. Jazz, can you hear me?
Hi,
Can
Kay.
people see?
Hi, Kay. Yes, I hear you. I just wanted to jump in really quickly. I love what you're doing, but I'm super curious. Is there a possibility you can just play a small part so we can put more context in so that the audience who are connecting on this stream right now know what you're doing?
Okay, yeah, but you guys can see the screen?
We see it clearly, and I'm
Okay,
fascinated with
okay.
what you're doing. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, all right, sure. um, so that's like that part.
Okay, well, this has been made in an hour and 30 minutes, no? So there's been a lot of I see a lot of sound designing effort going into this. So I'm not gonna interrupt you. We're just curious, and I'm gonna jump back out. Please continue working on this, and good luck.
Thanks.
Hello there.
Hi. So before we start, right, just a little bit more context for our audience who's watching the stream right now. What are you working on?
I'm working
Keela's
on.
still here. Hi, Keela.
Am I still here?
Yes, you're still with us, but it's okay. I think we're
I'm
gonna send you
working
back
on.
into the challenge room.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, Trisha.
Hi.
Yes, if you can walk us
Yes.
through what you're working on right now.
Cool. So I'm making a techno track, and I've used 10 loops from the sample pack on the first one, and the second one, 5 loops. So
Mhm.
basically I turned one of the instruments as bass, and do you wanna listen?
Yes, can we hear a small snippet of it?
Snippet of it. Okay, cool. So yeah, there we go. Oops. Okay. Are you able to listen?
No. Did you share your
Not yet.
Ableton output to Zoom?
Let me just check that 1 minute. Zoom. Start my video.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
Are you playing right now? Because we still can't hear
Can you check now?
Oh yeah, we hear it now. Yay! Yes, we hear it.
Okay, cool. So
All right. Wow. All right. Well, Trisha, I think you've shown us enough. I think you want to keep like the rest of it sort of like a surprise so that we can get people to go to vote for it. So are you
cool.
currently working on a particular sound right now?
Yes, I am. I am working on the microwave sample. So I have made it like a short loop in my simpler in Ableton, and I've converted into kind of like a snare to build up the vibe of the track, and then I'm going to use that same as when I'm prepared to drop here. So
nice.
And then
Well,
yeah,
okay,
a
I'll
couple of
leave you to this because we only have like 1 minute left
Okay.
of your spotlight. So good luck. Feel free to explain more of the track if you want, but you can stay here in this room because the next spotlighter will come in out in shortly. So feel free to continue working on what you're working. Don't worry about this.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Hey Dominique, how are you doing? Oh, you're muted.
Good. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Trish, if you can just stop screen sharing for 1 second, and we're going to have Dominique walk us through her track really quickly.
Okay, so I'll share screen.
Yeah, do it, girl.
Okay.
So how are you finding the
challenge? It's crazy. I don't think I've ever done anything like this. So super fast paced kind of makes me realize how slow I work usually.
Absolutely. Yeah, so if you want to just play us a little snippet of what you got going on, and we'll like have a look at some of your elements as well.
Yeah, sure. So just let me know if you can hear this. Good? Okay. So this is like the intro, I guess. All right, that's a snippet.
I really love how, so for anybody who's tuning into the stream, the theme that the challenge participants have received is embracing your inner queen. And I love how you've opened it with that sort of regal melody. I really like how you've taken it like in a literal sense, and it transforms into this like epic beat.
Thank you. Yeah, pretty much everything I used are from the packs except this vocal sample. I just made real quick. Those are my vocals, and I just shifted them up with Alter Boy, with the formant, not with the pitch, which is something I've been doing a lot lately that I really like.
Yeah, I love the sound toy stuff. It's just, it helps you be so creative.
It's the best. It's my favorite. I like never make anything without it. And then, yeah, so this is like one of the draft samples. This little hook thing in the beginning was another sample. It originally started out like this. That it was this one. And so I just kind of like pitched it up and made a melody out of it. Same with this was, let me see the sample name and the vocals, wall. Yeah, this.
All the samples are great. They come from the More Giraffes Pastel Pop sample pack that one of our summit presenters, Keely Bumford, Dressage, has given to us for the challenge, and I just think that those samples are amazing.
Oh, she's amazing. I love her. I didn't know they were from her. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, and so the drop is just like a bass sound that I've made in the past, with like a new melody, obviously. I kind of like pitched up this bass sound from what it was. I thought it fit the track better, like more distorted and like kind of weird. And yeah, I would normally like put a lot more percussion and stuff and like switch ups, but due to the time limit. But yeah, like later parts of the track kind of does this. Where like the hook comes in, and then there's this part. 1, 2. That was like a mistake. I copy and pasted the snare in the wrong section, but I thought it sounded cool, like hitting on the 1, 2, 3, 4 rather than the normal 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3. Cool switch up. 2, 3. Yeah.
Samples I see. We put in some unique curveball samples in the pack.
Yeah.
I love it. It sounds perfect for this track, even though it shouldn't, because it was such a curveball. I love it.
I love this like gasp sample. I kind of like distorted a little bit.
Wow, oh, that's so cool, because when Jazzy and I were putting the pack together, she played that sample when we were on a Zoom call, and I thought she had gasped because it was such a great sample. And I was like, what happened? What I just played the gasp sample?
That's amazing. Oh my god.
All right. This has been amazing. For anybody who's tuning in, our summer participants can vote for this Flash Beats Labs, the challenge. Dominique's one of our contestants, and there are huge prizes at stake. Our first prize bundle that we're giving away with plugins from loads of our amazing sponsors is worth $5,000 alone. So make sure that you check Dominique out, check out our other producers, and make sure you listen to all of these tracks will be uploaded onto a SoundCloud playlist, and then you'll be able to vote for your favorites. And that, combined with our judges' vote, will determine who wins all of our amazing Flash Beats Lab prizes. Dominique, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for
I'll let you back and finish your track because it's got to be done in a couple minutes.
Yes, actually, Dominic, if you don't mind, we would love to keep you in the main room because I think everyone's loving your session. So if you can complete the remaining of the challenge just here, we would love to just continue sneak peeking what you're working on, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I think right now what I would probably do is just kind of clean up the outro a little bit since we're wrapping up. So
I'll leave you to it. You work away, and everybody will be just tuning in.
Okay.
One, two, three. 2, 3.
Put like a little riser.
2, 3.
And yeah, maybe do another one, like a big outro.
2, 3.
Or maybe we'll do it like here, have the riser end a little bit early, and then take out the beat a little earlier. I'm so disorganized when I work. I like never know where anything is in my session. Mute these hi-hats.
3, 2, 3.
Take out that kick and the bass. I like it better there.
2, 3.
Nope. Let me just listen through.
2, 3.
Yeah, we'll finish it there and then mute that. Okay, so
2, 3. 2, 3.
Okay. Where's that little clicky sound I hear? That shouldn't be there. Maybe we'll duplicate this vocal and like make it sound a little different right at the end. I'll just copy this audio effect chain, put it here, save real quick so in case it crashes, which happens to me all the time. And I'm gonna go and put an altar boy on it again and maybe shift the format up. So I'll solo it. Let's see what that sounds like. Really loud. Wait, it ends there, so I should do it like this whole thing. Okay. I don't really like how that fades out. Maybe it should just be like a hard stop. Yeah, that's better. Okay.
1, 2, 3. 2, 3.
Yeah, okay. Could be better, but we have limited time. So I guess in my remaining few minutes, I'll just add more percussion where I can. Hey! Okay, so we could work with that. And I'm probably going to pitch it up again using Alter Boy. So let's see. I definitely want to make it shorter. So like a quick hey. Hey! Like hey. Hey! Hey! Start it closer like that. Hey! Hey! Can't really tell what she's saying. Hey! 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 I'm gonna take it out of this rack because I don't want the reverb on it. Hey! Yeah, we'll turn it down.
Hey, Dominique,
Yeah.
I am popping in to give you like your last about like 3-minute warning. So you might want to think about bouncing your track maybe in a minute or so.
Okay. So I'll bounce it. Okay. Sounds good. I don't hate that there. So. I'll put those back over there. They're just going to be in random spots at this point.
1, 2, 3.
These need to be quieter though.
2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3.
Okay. I'm just gonna check random parts. The mix is trash. So, and then I'll bounce it. Or maybe I'll just bounce it now without checking it. Okay, I guess I'm done.
My name is Bad Snacks.
Keely Bumford.
Laura Escade.
My name is Piper Payne. My name is Alicia Zay. Claire Marie Lim.
Hey, it's Andrew Huang.
One of the best pieces of advice.
What is the best piece of advice?
Here's my advice for younger creators.
See you at the summit.
Hi, everyone. If you're still with us, I just want to let you know that we're down to less than 2 minutes for the challenge. And then we are about to bring everyone back into the room and we're going to wave you goodbye to end the stream. Thank you all so much for joining us today. This has been a glorious, super exciting welcoming stream for us. Feel free to tag us in your post, in your story, and there's many more to come this coming weekend. So I know that we're bringing the rest of the challengers back in about like 5 seconds. So be ready to be, to say goodbye to all of our challenges. All right, so I hope everyone. All right, so Congratulations! You have completed your 2-hour speed production challenge. You deserve to make some noise. Everyone deserves it. So if you all don't know, all these producers who are with me right now have been logged in since about like 2.5 hours ago, and they've completed a 2-hour challenge with very specific instructions. So we're actually ending our welcoming stream right now. So Flash Beats Lab participants, if we can just wave them for a couple seconds, and then we can end the stream, and then we can talk about uploading your submission.
Tea everywhere.